is famous for her short story, The Lottery. If you like The Hunger Games, then you will love The Lottery because The Lottery inspired The Hunger Games. Do you ever wonder how your family traditions began and what they mean? Do you ever think to question the tradition, or do you just go along with it? These are the questions that The Lottery addresses. Shirley Jackson was born in San Francisco in 1916. As soon as she was able to write, she began to compose verse. As she grew older, she grew further interested in writing. After high school, she enrolled in the liberal arts program at the University of Rochester, but left after 1 year. She then transferred to Syracuse University in 1937 as a part of the School of Journalism, but soon transferred to the English department. In 1940, she graduated with her bachelor's degree in English. While at Syracuse, she met Stanley Edgar Hyman, and together they founded a literary magazine called The Spectre. Leonard Brown, a modern literary teacher, helped Jackson with the magazine, and he became her mentor. On a nice summer day, the townspeople gathered in the square for the yearly lottery ran by Mr. Summers. He calls the head of the household from each family forward to pick a slip of paper from a black wooden box. The box is not the original box because the original box was lost. When given the cue, everyone looks at his slip of paper to see who has been chosen. Mr. Adams says that the village in the north is speaking about stopping the lottery. Old Man Warner reacts to this by ridiculing young people. Bill Hutchinson had been selected because his slip of paper had a black dot on it. His wife begins to complain that the choosing was unfair. Since Mr. Hutchinson picked the paper with the black dot, each family member of the Hutchinsons had to draw a slip of paper. Mrs. Hutchinson, or Tess, draws the paper with a black dot in the center. After this happens, Tessie protests the lottery and she is beginning to be stoned to death by the townspeople. Tradition can be seen as a good and a bad thing. Considering the town, the tradition of the lottery is an evil tradition because an innocent person is murdered each year. The lottery is a very old tradition, and many of the villagers do not know much about the origin, yet they still try to preserve the tradition. The lottery tradition becomes evil when the townspeople accept murder as a town event. Rather than speak out against such a cruel tradition, everyone in the town goes along with the stoning. Many of the villagers are powerless to change, even though no one is forcing them to continue the lottery. No one in the town stops to ask why they are killing an innocent person. The fact that the lottery is a tradition is enough justification for the murder. Jackson critiques tradition by showing tradition as something that causes people to not ask moral questions or think for themselves, which results in an unchangeable society. In the lottery, the villagers do not analyze their actions, and thus the ritual is carried out year after year with no questioning. This story can be viewed as a warning to society about the effects of tradition and the importance of individual thought. The lottery reflects the era that the short story was written in. World War II had just ended along with the Holocaust. In the Holocaust, normal people helped murder other innocent people because their society thought it was normal and just action. The lottery can be seen as a reflection of the World War II era. In the lottery, the villagers seem like normal people, and in their eyes, stoning another person is normal. This shows the influence of society. If society says that something horrible is normal, then everyone in society will believe it. As I read the summary of the lottery, you might have been thinking, wow, this sounds so familiar. This is because it is familiar. Many key elements of the lottery appear in the popular novel of today, The Hunger Games. In both stories, there is an annual event that ends in the unjust persecution of an innocent person. The entire town gathers to watch this horrible event, yet no one fights to put an end to the injustice. The Lottery is a popular short story that attempts to teach society a lesson. While traditions can be fun and enjoyable, society should not take part in traditions simply because the event is a tradition. People of society must remember the importance of questioning things that seem wrong. If no one stands up for an injustice, then there will be no change. The Lottery is a mysterious and dark story that leaves the reader with many questions and thoughts.